Switch 2 has been underwhelming in my opinion.
Underwhelmed. You're not
I'm
even whelmed. You're
I'm not even
underwhelmed.
whelmed. Not even whelmed.
Okay. It feels like it's the Switch Pro that we never got
It
for
is.
whatever reason.
One of my gripes is the fact it took you so long to put out this system, and then you give us one game, uh, and then you give us the second game finally comes out, a little bit
Mhm.
later. Did they think Mario Kart was really gonna carry it,
Yeah.
for $80? Like,
Yeah,
thank
let's
God we haven't seen another game for $80.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Addison Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk about the games we want to whenever they came out, because that is what we're playing. We talk old stuff, we talk new stuff, and we talk everything in between. I'm your host, WckdGmrUK Allen, but on this episode, you can call me Triggered, because I just got emotionally disturbed when I was thinking about the journey I went on to get my Switch 2 on launch week.
Oh, yeah.
And as always, I am joined by the most amazing co-host in the world, Mike Malldee, aka the Switch 2 edition that you buy both physical and digital copies of. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am doing really good.
It
I'm good. How are you?
it it has been 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
1 year since this baby entered our lives.
Yep,
The Nintendo
absolutely.
Switch 2.
That's it. And listeners, that is what we are here to talk about today. We are going to do a full-on review of the Nintendo Switch 2, talking about everything pre-launch. We're going to talk about the launch. We're going to talk about launch lineup, third-party games, all that kind of good stuff. So stick around because we are going to break it all down and then give our score of what we think, how the first year went with all this stuff. But before we get into it, do you have a question that you want us to explore on an upcoming episode? You can have that happen by simply writing us an email to gamers@outofsyncgaming.co.uk. Again, that's gamers@outofsyncgaming.co.uk. Have you got a Switch 2? What do you think of the first year? Let us know, and we'll read some of those on an upcoming episode. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can make sure you stay up with all the latest content from Addison Gaming. We got lots of fun content for you, and you don't want to miss a beat. Okay, all that housekeeping out of the way. Mike, Switch 2. It is basically a year old now.
It
What are your
is.
overall thoughts of the Switch 2, Mike?
It went it's a loaded question now. It's a
Well, we
loaded
got it. We got time to
question.
talk about it, so let's unpack it.
It's went from hype to, like, impossible expectations.
Yeah.
Lots of questions, and then a lot of people, and me especially, saying, like, "What? Wait, is this just a bigger regular Switch? Like a bigger, faster Switch?
Mm-hmm.
What's new?"
Yeah.
And then Nintendo does these little weird things, like they give it a mouse, which is kind of cool,
Yeah.
and then they do this chat feature, which is like, okay, well, there's a dedicated button for a chat
Mm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it. And well, I mean, I don't use it. And then I just don't have any friends. But yeah, and then Nintendo does weird things like don't tell us the price and this and that. And now, anyway, it's been interesting. The Switch 2 has been underwhelming in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You're underwhelmed. You're not
I'm
even whelmed. You're
I'm not even
underwhelmed.
whelmed. Not even whelmed.
Okay. Why underwhelming?
Because this is all I
Great.
have for it. And I'm over it already.
For the listeners out there, Mike just fanned out all the games that he owns. So you think it's a software thing for you? It's like
There's no okay. The Switch 1, if we're gonna get into it,
Huh?
the Switch 1 came out. It was brand new. It was
Yeah.
fresh. It was a new idea. It was a Switch. Like we can hold it and then play it. It was fresh. It was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Revolutionary, if you would say. And the Switch 2 is just evolutionary.
Yeah.
And Switch 1 came out with Breath of the Wild, and then not long later, Mario Odyssey. So it was just like nonstop fun and adventure, and people are still playing Breath of the Wild today. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it was just moment, and everybody there was nothing negative to be said about the Switch 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, and Switch 2 comes out, and it doesn't have an identity. It just kind of is, like, just evolving upon what it was,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
Switch, the regular Switch, and there's just no like, Bonanza came out, I thought that was gonna be, like, the game, which it
Mhm.
was, and it just I'm done, finished it, like,
Yeah.
what now? Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
thanks for tuning in to Odyssey.
that's our review, year in review. I mean, I don't disagree with a lot of what you just said. I think I don't necessarily think I'm underwhelmed by it. But I am very much like, yeah, the hype train was exciting. Look, anytime a new console launches, especially a new Nintendo console, I am going to be so hyped in the run up to all of that, right? I love the build up to that kind of stuff. It's just fun to get like the energy around it all and to really think about what's the secrets they're holding back and all that kind of good stuff. But as soon as we kind of knew that it was going to be the Switch 2, that it was going to be backward compatible, as all this kind of stuff started coming out, either from Nintendo or from leaks, you did get the sense, as you said, it was the evolution and not a revolution, right?
Mhm,
And so, it's here. It's definitely the second version of one of the most successful consoles of all time.
mhm.
And that's not a bad thing because the first go, as you say, was pretty awesome. They nailed it for the most part. Maybe a few little things here and there that needed some work. Um, so for me, it's like I go, oh yeah, okay, well, it's bigger and it's plays all my games, but I haven't had that moment of going like, oh my god, we're at this precipice of something different and something new in the way we were with the Switch.
Yeah, I
And
just don't think we'll ever have something like that again.
well, I mean, I think Nintendo will come up with something creative with a new
I feel like
console. I think.
everything that's ever been invented is already made.
Okay.
I honestly do, and it's not because like nothing else is like we can't like you can't do that again with the Switch. Like maybe if they, I don't know. There's nothing. Maybe I don't know. There's nothing else. Like I feel like every song has been made, and people are just copying and resampling music, and people are, and then like the newest thing was a VR headset, and that was amazing. But like, what else is there? Maybe Nintendo does VR now. I don't know, but
Well, if there is, I don't know about that. But I do know that if there is a gaming company out there that can do something that we go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that that could work. I think it's Nintendo. So I have a little bit of hope that they,
yeah,
future consoles and all that kind of stuff, they might be able to do that. But I mean, they made the choice this console to go like, we just want to iterate. We don't want to rock the boat. And it's the right decision in my mind, right? And
yeah,
if when I'm thinking about what I wanted the Switch 2 to be, like all my hype cycle and all that kind of stuff that I wanted, it's exciting to think about. But actually, I'm kind of very happy with what we ended up with because in my kind of reflection before we start breaking it down throughout the year, I think for me it feels like it's the Switch Pro that we never got
it
for
is.
whatever reason, and I'm good with that. Like it's just got that extra
It
bit of
just took
power that it
too
needs.
long to get to
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
And the
Yeah.
fact so one of my gripes is the fact it took you so long to put out this system, and then you give us 1 game, uh, and then you give us the second game finally comes out, a little bit
Mhm.
later.
Yep.
Uh, I'm just like, did they think Mario Kart was really gonna carry it,
Yeah.
for $80? Like,
Yeah,
thank God we haven't seen another game for $80.
let's talk about that launch lineup part, right? Because you mentioned, with the Switch 1, and I don't wanna always compare it to Switch 1 the whole time, right? Because I wanna start looking at it as the system as itself, but, this is a strong when we talk about launching the Switch and having that Breath of the Wild moment, that is never good. I mean, that was just one of the most amazing moments in gaming history, right?
Yeah.
Because as you say, it's still a game that people are playing, it's one of the best games ever made.
And Tears of the
Um,
Kingdom was like a close second, just kind of like,
yeah,
oh, put me back there again," that was
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah, I
But,
do love that feeling, yeah.
if they woulda just freaking came out with a Switch 2 and put Tears and we would have waited a couple more years for Tears of the
Mhm,
Kingdom, and they would then I would have been
yeah.
fine,
Well,
actually.
this is part of, and you can't go we'll never know how this all played out, right? But, like, I do think that we're gonna launch a Switch Pro and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was going to be the launch game with that or whatever to really
Should
push
have
it, but
been.
whatever, it didn't happen.
Woulda, shoulda,
Um,
coulda.
yeah, and so you're absolutely right. Like the Switch 2 comes out and it Mario Kart World, for me, is a major disappointment. I don't
I
even
agree.
I played it. I did the Rainbow Road once, and I've never even gone back. And in fact, I think I'm gonna delete it off my system. I haven't done it yet, but I think I'm gonna delete it because I'm never gonna play it again. Like, why? I mean, what do people really love it? Are people playing it?
I jump in there every now and again, and then
Mhm.
I'm like, "Okay, that was okay, I'm done." And
Yeah.
then it's fine. It is what it is.
Mhm. Um, and then also to try and fill the void or the gap, as you mentioned, for like that being the thingy, like all of the launch game, like getting the Switch 2 versions of Zelda, was not necessarily one that I think I go, oh, that feels new and fresh as exciting. Like
Yeah. I
from
think
a
it will be once we
yeah.
complete our Zelda playthrough that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once we
Yes.
jump back into the Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild, I think that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
But until then,
Hmm.
I haven't replayed them, so I have no comment really on that. They do look better. I have gone into them,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't, I will experience firsthand eventually.
Yeah, same. I think probably, if looking back now, the probably one of the coolest launch games was Cyberpunk 2077. Like that
Yeah, it
was
was good.
that was like fulfilling the promise of when that game was announced, that was fulfilling the promise of like, yes, we've got more powerful hardware. Yes, it can play these games for the most part pretty well. And I mean, you played all the way through Cyberpunk. Like, did you felt it like from a technical perspective, it
I'm
was good?
happy I've never actually, like, thought of or ever wanted to play Cyberpunk prior to the Switch 2,
Mhm.
because for me, that was fresh, even though it's like a five-year-old game,
Yeah.
and, but just me knowing that it was 5 years old, like, kind
Mhm.
of makes me feel like I missed out in a way, and,
Okay.
um, and I'm just like, I wish yeah. I mean, it's not a Switch 2 exclusive, so it's not like
No.
the Switch just kinda like, "Hey, look what we can do."
Yeah. Yeah. And then to round out, like, the launch ones, they also had Street Fighter 6, and can we not forget, the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour?
Shut your
What
mouth.
was that game?
Shut your filthy mouth.
It's
Buy our welcome game. But I love how people are like, "It's actually really good," all the nerds and stuff. And I'm
I
like,
mean,
"What? I'm not paying $10 so I can learn about my Switch too."
yeah. I'm sure it's good. Like, Nintendo for the most part, like, releases games that are pretty good. But like this is a real miss for me. Like it's just that trend that then like when they making people pay for every little thing on the Switch too, right? Because I feel like if this came out, in generations past in Nintendo, this would have been included in the game, right? It would have been very
Absolutely.
easy to have that. But this, new Nintendo is all about making the money and stuff, which, I'm not gonna their company, right? They're there to make some money. But that was just
They
a
are
bit
a
like
charity.
I mean, I don't know if I know anybody that played this game. I don't listeners, did you play
I only
Nintendo
know
Switch
people
2 Welcome to?
online
Or
that
like,
played it.
no. I feel like it no, I have no idea. Um yeah. Any other things around the games and that came out that you thought were worth mentioning in the sort of initial launch window?
I mean, there's like some downloadable games. No, not really.
No. Yeah.
There was fun things. I mean, in the initial launch, then we had to wait for a few
Mhm.
months to get some good stuff.
Yeah.
And then when the good stuff started happening, it felt great, but it still wasn't Nintendo, you know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
exclusive. I mean, Pocopia, of course, and Metroid was a miss, I
Mhm.
think. It was definitely exciting. It was definitely fun for Metroid Prime 4, but
Yeah.
for me, I, I was they definitely they definitely missed the mark on that one. I
Yeah,
loved it. I loved it. I played it, but they it wasn't what I was expecting.
Prime 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't beyond what I was
It was not
expecting.
beyond. No. Yeah, I think we've done the whole review
It was
episode on
Metroid
that. So go
Within.
and yeah, go and check out what our thoughts on the breakdown and all of that. I would I would say the initial, like the initial launch, like it got it. I was excited to get it, and then I played through Mario Kart World, and then I really just didn't have a reason to go back to my Switch for a while until Donkey Kong Bonanza.
And
Um,
thank you, Donkey Kong Bonanza. You were amazing. I just
very
wish.
good.
I mean, I wish there was more. I mean, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the ending. I
Hmm.
loved the game. I just don't feel like jumping back in there. And
Yeah,
like the 100%ing it isn't fulfilling for me in this one in Donkey Kong Bonanza for some reason.
yeah.
So even though I do like to collect everything. For some reason, just I don't feel fulfilled going back into it.
It didn't like keep pulling me back in either. It was a totally fun experience, really, really great. I
10
mean,
out of 10.
yeah, and that was the first time I felt like, oh yes, this is now. I'm glad I have Switch 2, and I'm glad I
Yeah.
got it on launch day, and I really want to keep going back to it and playing it. Um, and then you got like the rest of the year, you had things like Kirby Air Riders, as you say, Pokemon
Hmm.
Legends ZA, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. All games, Metro Prime 4, Pocopia, all that stuff. Um, it, it when you like zoom out and you look at it as a whole, like those are all like whether or not they were like amazing games, that's still a really solid, outing of games. But for me, it almost like felt like the second year of games. It didn't have that like first year of games where you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
you like get really excited and jump into it. It almost felt like a traditional second year of gaming where they start to bring all of these things out. Um, so, like I have fun playing a lot of these games. Like Pocopia is great. Tomodachi Life, I'm having it, but that's a Switch One game as well. So does that really count?
Requiem,
Um,
I think, one of the better. Was
yeah,
I fell in love with that game.
yeah. I mean, I didn't play that one on my Switch 2. I'm playing Pragmata on my Switch 2. So that feels really cool because you're getting that third party experience with it all.
Yeah.
And they run pretty well. So I guess that's a great theme when we think about the games is that actually they are running better. There is more power under the hood with the Switch 2. Third parties aren't running perfectly, but we're getting them, and it it's a weird place because it's like I go, oh yeah, these are all great games that I love, but I'm not overly satisfied with them. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's a weird place to be in with it all.
It is weird.
But it's a weird good. It's weird good.
It's weird good.
Yeah. Thinking
Well,
about
one
go
thing I was
on.
gonna say was, does it even feel like year one already? It's already here. That
Yeah.
to me, it doesn't feel like a whole year has gone by
Mhm.
because I feel like I still have it. I feel like it's still searching for an identity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I think things that help it with that are Pocopia. That really helps with it. But there isn't been that like killer like title from Nintendo, like your big Mario or your big Zelda, that people associate with it that really reach the kind of broad. I mean, let's hold on a minute though. Let's be honest. It's selling really well. Like the
No,
fact that
no
it's it's
lie.
like selling like hotcakes. So
Pocopia helped it a
yeah, it's
lot,
not it's not hurting in that sense, but it doesn't have that thing where you go,
and the
ah,
price is
this is
going up.
price is going up. Yeah, but it doesn't have that thing where you go like, oh, even the exclusives where you go like, oh, this is the reason to buy a Switch 2,
Hmm.
for the masses, right? Like I think
Yeah.
it's yeah. Let's talk about let's lean over to price for a little bit. Like so pre-launch, all that stuff before, they wouldn't tell us the price. And then if you remember, like right before launch day, they were doing all their presentations, but that was when tariffs were being announced. So there was the whole
Yeah.
like challenge, at least in the US, around, how are they going to price it? Um, and then it gets priced, and then people know, at that Nintendo Direct, and then everybody went coconuts and were like, Lower the price, lower the price." What was there was that thing on the tree house when they were trying to
Yeah,
like,
that's all they said the whole time.
yeah, they were just playing with it. Like,
Drop the price. Drop
what do
the
you
price.
do you think do you think right now, knowing that, the price is going to go up, what are your thoughts on the price for the Switch 2? Is it worth the
It
cost?
is what it is. So
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I don't like it, of course. I don't expect anything for free, but I do definitely want to be able to afford stuff
Yeah.
in this economy.
Mhm. It's it's all relative in a way, right? Because it is more powerful, so of course it needs to be more expensive. that sticker shock initially of it being, close to what, 500 pounds or whatever over here, at least in the UK, with the Mario Kart World bundle included. I think it was 480. It was, and we were so used to the Switch 2 coming out. I mean, the initial Switch coming out at a price that seemed like reasonable just on paper. When you say something like it's 299 or whatever, that
Mhm.
doesn't feel, there's just psychologically something different between almost 500. Um, and it, I think the reason for me that it still doesn't feel worth it. I don't know, money, cost is relative to people, right? So what's worth something to one person is not
It's worth
necessarily
as much as you're
to
willing to
another.
pay.
Yeah, or you have to pay. Um, and it just goes back to the games. Like, I don't feel there's that killer game where I'm like, oh, now I understand why I've made this investment into the Switch 2 ecosystem. Rather than just, being able to play all my Switch games that I was already able to do on my Switch OLED, except for the additional, few that we've talked about. But I guess, when you talk about pricing with Switch 2, like, and the industry as a whole, like, there is no better time to buy because prices are just going to continue to go up. Like, it's just such a
Is
weird
this their
state.
kind of, tactic that they're using? They're gonna raise the prices, you better get it quick. Because they
Hmm.
gave a date too when they're weight raising. I forgot when it is, September sometime, I think, but
Yeah.
so I don't like, that's a weird, like, "We're giving you a lot of time."
Yep.
It's weird.
Well, it worked in Japan because the price has already gone up over there,
Oh.
and, within the window of them announcing the price, hike, and then to, like, recent figures that came out of Famitsu and whatnot, there was a surge in sales. So it worked. I don't know if it's a tactic that Nintendo necessarily wants to, employ, but they kind of have to because of, they got to run their business and make money. I
Yeah.
suspect, over here they're softening that blow, right? With, like, they'll include a choice of a digital game, so you can buy the bundle 480 or whatever, and you can choose now between Pocopia, Super Mario, um, Mario Kart World, or Donkey Kong Bonanza. So they're trying to entice people now, and then, I suspect we'll see that have a positive impact on sales. But what it does afterwards, I mean, who knows? Who knows what that's
Who
going to happen? But
knows?
I think that also, though, goes to show that they're confident. Look, never count Nintendo out, and never count out the power of a kid at Christmas, like, begging his parents or her parents or their parents all year long for the new Nintendo system, right? And they are going to announce a new Mario game soon. They have to, uh, at some point or another. I suspect they'll announce it, probably here in this time. And we're getting into announcement season, right? With everybody,
Mhm.
like, doing all their things. We're gonna get the Ocarina of Time remake announcement soon. So I don't think they're gonna have a problem selling these systems even at the raised price, because I think people were just conditioned now that prices go up. I don't
It
know.
is is what I
It it
say.
it
I mean, I
is
can't do
what it
anything
is.
about it. I'm gonna
Mm-mm.
buy it.
Yeah, yeah. It's, it's just a strange time because remember, like, when we grew up, like, if by this prices went down, they didn't go up. So, like,
Yeah.
even the Switch prices haven't gone down, like the
I
regular Nintendo
know.
Switch prices, like that you would think you wanna get people into them, but not anymore, not anymore. It is what it is.
Nintendo
So,
should do a
yeah.
buyback program like Apple does when you trade in your phone. You could trade in your Switch and get the new one. That would encourage, people to
Mhm.
upgrade their systems. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
they
but
are go on. What are you gonna
I was
say?
just saying I'm too attached to everything, even though I don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm happy to kinda I got rid of my Switch,
I know
a
you
couple
did.
weeks ago, because I mean, now that the Switch 2, like, from a hardware perspective, is playing Switch 1 games, like, as if they're in docked mode, with that feature,
Mhm.
then it feels like now it's running them all really, really well without the kind of, like, challenges, or without,
It's true.
any hiccups. Um, but they are, like, finding ways to try and, you know, leverage the fact that a lot of people have Switches, through the game share feature, or
Yeah.
like, have you so you could I could imagine if I was, like, a family with, 1 Switch 2, but then several Switches from,
And Switch lights.
yeah, then the fact that you can, like, beam a game off of Switch 2 to all of those devices is a really clever way to really maximize people being able to like play together with different things. So like you'll be able to do it with Star Fox and other games. I don't use it, but I know you can do it with like Kirby Air Riders and Super Mario Kart World and stuff. So
It's a cool thing if you
yeah.
have
Mhm.
family,
Mhm. Or
somebody to play
friends,
with,
which you don't have, Mike.
which I just have myself.
Let's like okay, so there's the pricing things. Let's talk about some of the features.
That's what I was
With
gonna
the
say.
Yeah,
I was gonna
let's get
say,
to some of
so
the
the
features.
hardware,
Yeah.
like, was it a boring upgrade or was it exactly what we needed?
Oh, I think it was boring and exactly what we
It was
needed. I kind
boring
of
and
think
it
it
was
was both.
safe.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
It was
Nintendo playing it safe.
yeah.
Um, but is playing it safe the smartest thing they could have done? I mean, when I guess the mouse was the only like, "Oh my god" part. Like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool." But then it's like, "Hey, wait, how are we gonna play this on the couch? How like, what?"
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I tried that on my leg a couple of times and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I mean, it works.
You have to have, like, a
It
little, like,
works. Like,
TV tray table. You have to have, like, a
yeah.
setup in order to do the mouse thing. You can't really just play, I mean, maybe you
Mhm.
can, but it's more of a gimmick in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong, it works really well but it's just annoying to kind of you have to, like, reorganize
Mhm.
your little play area.
Yeah.
What other features did you the game chat?
There's a game chat. Yeah. Um, I think I haven't really used it all that much, but I am excited to see how it evolves with the thing they announced in Star Fox that's coming out, where you can
Yeah,
like that anamorphic or whatever. It'll
yeah.
like that's going to be a fun. That's weird. Nintendo doing
That is
silly stuff
weird.
again. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh, I I think the game chat hasn't been fully well, for me at least, again, I don't play a lot online and what have you. So, I mean, I'm sure, look, features are great and options are wonderful. Like, so I think it's really cool that it's there. And I can imagine, if you've got cousins or friends or what have you, and you're a little, you're younger, and you all get on and you can see each other's face driving above, the your character in Super Mario.
Yeah.
Why do I keep saying that? Mario Kart World. That's really neat. Um, but or being able to talk to each other while you do it, I'm sure there's a whole, they're
It's
leaning into the
fun.
streamers of it all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I
the
wish I liked
build
stuff
qual
like
yeah.
that.
Eh, well, I don't know. I mean, I think my problem with it as a feature though is then because it like shrinks your screen to being even smaller, and really
Yeah.
the little windows of the character of the people you're doing it with, it's all like choppy and done in like, I don't know, like 20 frames per second or something like that. So uh, you know I don't yeah, it's not like
It's just a
it's not
gimmick.
yeah, it's a gimmick. It is very gimmicky. But yeah, I
I
don't know,
do
I don't
love
really
the
lean
big
into it.
screen if you're playing in handheld mode.
Mhm.
The bigger screen is lovely,
Yes.
except
Yep.
when you're playing Pokemon Fire Red, and then it's kind of, like, annoying to see it that big for some reason. I don't know. I'm probably the only
Mhm.
one, but it gives me those black bars on the side where I can't unlook at them. I just have to always glance over at these black bars on the
Yeah.
side, and I'm like and then it's all really pixelated.
Mhm.
I'm just being picky, but like I
No,
said,
let's do it.
I'd rather play it on my Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. I think, jumping into the screen of it all, I think there is like a love hate with the screen because it's so challenging to go. It's challenging. Like, this is like a real problem, take this all with the fact that like these are all
No, I
not
love the
really
big screen
problems in the
because I
world, but
played
like, yeah.
Resident Evil Requiem on the airplane, and I was having an amazing time, and I
Mm,
was shaking in my seat, like, jumping, kicking the seat in front of me because I was so scared,
yeah.
and, I thought it was great to play on that big screen.
Yeah.
I also sometimes think on the airplane, it's perfect, but I would never take it on public transit. I
Yeah.
would never, um I would never take it in public anywhere. I'm only play it in bed or on an airplane.
Hmm.
So I think they should come out with a smaller version if they can pack all the features of the Switch 2 into a smaller version.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to figure that out in the background, right? Because it's, a Switch 2 Lite or whatever version where they can, like, just get it out the door and, sell it, more affordably. I'm sure they'll do that when they can. Um, uh, the thing for me on the screen when it was announced was the fact that it's an LCD screen and not an OLED. Like,
Yeah, that was
it was
weird.
so nice seeing the OLED on the Switch. Like, it
It
just
was a
made
weird
games
choice.
pop. Yeah, I mean, it's a cost savings choice, and then it's also an iterative choice, right? Of course, they're going to release the Switch 2 OLED soon, and I'm going to be a double adopter. I'm going to get it. Um,
Yeah.
but the screen, sometimes I'm playing it and I feel like it's a little bit lacking. It's fine, but I just know what it could be because it's spoiled with the OLED. But the interesting thing that really jumped out at me at why I hadn't really thought about it much is so I've been playing a lot of Pragmata lately on it because I got it for the Switch too, and the variable refresh rate really shows up on the handheld, right? So the screen on handheld version can do VRR, but on the TV it doesn't do it because I don't know if I think they've taken that off for TV mode. Like, it was announced for TV mode and then they stopped it just before launch for some weird reason. So, like, in some sections of Pragmata, it's a really taxing game for the Switch 2, and,
Yeah, you were saying
it's
that.
really jittery in certain sections and jumpy. So, but when I'm playing in handheld mode, it solves a lot of that problem with the VRR. So I wish they would, like, figure that out because there's sometimes I'm just like, "Ooh, this is not looking good." Um, so yeah, the screen there. What about the form factor itself? Like you said, it's too big, right?
I think it's not
Yeah.
too big. It's just too big for me to go anywhere with.
Mhm. Yeah.
Actually I have this, like, this grip I have on it.
Mhm.
Um, watch my review. It's in the short, but
Check it out.
it's just yeah, it's comfortable to hold. I
Mhm.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's fine. I'm just
Yeah.
being picky now, but it is big, and I mean, trust me, we all wanted a bigger one, right? So,
Mhm.
and then, but then it's like, is it practical?
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
big. Um, no, I think they should come out with a bit smaller size if they can fit it all in there.
Yeah, I think
The
I
Pro
agree
controller
with
is
you.
amazing. I love the Pro controller.
Yeah, I think the size of it is too big. Like, I feel I can definitely now when I'm packing my bag and traveling with it, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this thing is just too big." So it's that bit. But I love the size of playing with it, but the actual portability of it maybe
it's
isn't as
good for the
good.
bed.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, good for the bed, good on the sofa, good when you're on the plane,
The
but actually
Switch 2
carrying
is
it
good
around
in
is tough.
bed.
Put that on the box and sell it, Nintendo. Yeah, let's break down some of those accessories. The Switch 2 Pro controller,
Pro controller feels lovely. I love my little
the
Pro
best.
controller.
It's the best controller Nintendo's ever created.
It's
I
great.
think, yeah. Except they still haven't got the D-pad just right. It's better than the Switch Pro
I
controller,
don't
but it's
really use the
still not.
D-pad that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's just it was a bit stiff in my opinion. Like, it just
Mm.
doesn't because I sometimes will try and play with it when I'm playing a retro game like
Ah,
on
yeah.
the Nintendo Switch Online, and it just doesn't have the feel. I want it to be a little bit more squishy. It's just too
Yeah, you're
stiff.
right. Because playing,
Yeah.
Fire Red, I would use the D-pad sometimes because I thought
Yeah.
because using the Joy-Con or the
Mhm.
joystick, it was more, like, weird to move around,
Yeah.
because you don't move diagonally, you're either up and down or left to right, and so it's
Mhm.
kinda weird to move around with the Joy-Con the joy sorry, the joystick,
Yeah.
but then I would switch to the D-pad, and it was still, like, awkward.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're right,
but
you're right.
everything else about it is really good build quality and stuff.
I will say that I mean, the Joy-Cons, I'm assuming they're better than the Switch ones with the drift, and, like, they're no problem so far from actual Joy-Cons.
No, I haven't had any issues. I haven't heard any
I haven't
reports
heard
of
any,
them.
yeah.
But I can't remember when the reports for Joy-Con drift started coming out for
Yeah,
the
it's
original
true.
Switch, but I suspect if it's gonna show up, it's gonna start showing up soon or
Especially
anytime,
with heavy users.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Heavy
Um
handheld users.
Yeah, but the feel of the Joy-Con with them being better, that feels so much better. I
They do
haven't
feel
really,
better.
I haven't played too much with it, but I've tested it out a few times and, like, then you go back to the original, Joy-Con and they're, like, so little tiny and
It
dinky
is
in your
weird, it is
hands. It's
weird.
so, like, it's so weird.
Playing on the original
Oh,
Switch, I just did it the other day on my first one, and I was like, "This is really
it's, like,
weird."
tiny.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
it?
cool.
Yeah. It's such a funny thing to go back to.
Mhm.
And then I think just the overall, like, the overall, like, build of it, the quality, like, it feels very premium. It feels very solid. I love the kind of matte finish to it all.
Mhm.
And I think they nailed it on the first go here with, the kind of,
I have no
the
complaints on the
way that,
hardware
yeah.
itself,
No.
like the presentation, how it is.
Mhm.
Uh, I knew we weren't gonna get something revolutionary,
Yeah.
but I have no
Mhm.
complaints on the actual hardware.
Mhm.
I mean, my complaints are, like, stupid, like, it's too big. Like, that's not
Yeah.
really a complaint, it's more of like a realization, not a realization, yeah, a realization or like, I'm like, "Oh, maybe I don't want it this big."
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, but again, I just think that from I think with all the costs of everything, right? If we weren't in the place where there was the Ramageddon and all the RAM prices going up
Yeah.
and what have you, and Nintendo having to raise their prices, I would say the playbook was going to be very similar to the Switch generation, where we would get the Switch Lite soon, and then in another year's time we'd get the OLED. I don't know if that's going to happen this time because I think one, as you say, can they fit everything in a smaller form factor? But then actually, if you think about all the cost it will take to not only do the research and design and all that stuff to get that to happen, but then with manufacturing, like having to build all new ecosystems for manufacturing, like the cost of petrol and oil and gas and all that stuff, it's not just in cars, but like all that stuff is in like printing. So like now you got to print all new materials for the boxing and stuff. Like these things have like just so many impacts. All the stuff that's going on that don't necessarily have specifically to do with how we would traditionally think about gaming and all that stuff. Like it's in plastics, oil and plastics and everything. So like I think that we're in a very different world at the moment, and so I part of me thinks Nintendo is just going to stick to the solution that they have, the form factor as it is, ride that out as long as they can, and try and kind of calibrate those prices, as and when they need to sort of not lose as much money, but start keep it still affordable for people to jump into, and then I think that the differences will come in with things like the controllers being the special edition things like we've seen this year with Resident Evil. I can't remember the other special edition controllers that we've got, but like I think they're going to play it very conservative and very safe this year with all that.
They have so far, they haven't,
Hmm.
the new bundles they would launch are just with games, they're the exact
Yep.
same Switch product, so
Hmm. Hmm.
it's interesting. I was gonna
Hmm.
go into now, like, do you remember, uh what do you remember more? The excitement of the launch or the
Hmm.
anxiety to trying to get one of trying to get a Switch 2?
Uh, I mean, my story, of
Not your
course, is
story,
the
but well, you mean you got one, but, like, that was a separate anxiety issue, but the anxiety
yeah.
of actually placing your pre-order.
So it wasn't, for me, it wasn't anxiety. I just, it was actually pretty straightforward because
Hate you.
I just kind of, I guess I think I, there was, I got onto Argos, where I got mine. I ordered it really easily. There was no dramas or no issues in terms of placing the order and being confirmed. So for me, I was just like, great, sorted. It's going to be
So
here
for
on day
you, you
one. Yeah.
remember more of the excitement of getting the
Yeah.
Switch 2
Yeah. Yeah.
until, like, you took forever to get one. But,
Yeah.
and then for me, I remember the anxiety of trying to get one because I was,
Hmm.
like, in line at a store at midnight
You
launch,
did go to that's right. You went in
and I was
person.
like, "Oh my god,
Uh-huh.
am I gonna get one?"
Yeah.
I'm, like,
Yeah.
number 20 in line, and I don't know how many they have.
Yeah, so but that's cool because I think the, but the point there though is that I think Nintendo spent a lot of time, like, making sure they had so many available so that they've never run out or had to deal with scalpers. Um,
Yeah,
but I think, did everybody at that store get one that you know of, that you
no.
went to? No, not everybody got one that
Not
day?
everybody was able to get one.
Oh, right. So there was a little bit of like some shortness at the beginning, at the launch of it all.
There
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Um, I think for the most part throughout the year, though, I don't think there's ever been a place beyond the initial launch window
Yeah.
where
I
it's
would say
ever
like
been
after the
sold
first
out
couple
or
weeks, people were able to
yeah,
get it after that.
yeah. I think they've been
Few
able to keep up
weeks.
with demand and whatnot. So, um,
It's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the anxiety of actually getting it delivered though, and that was for me was just like so
Mhm.
stressful, so stressful.
You got it
I got
eventually.
it. I got it in the end, and it was fine. It was all
And
good.
you were like,
But
"I just wanna play my game."
I know. Oh, and then because this is actually taking me back because I'm just about to take a trip to San Francisco again,
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
in San Francisco when it came out, so it was this time last year. So it's similar reason for a trip. But like you doing the episode because we had to do an episode where you were like you did an unboxing episode, which is great. And then I watched that being like, oh, look at Mike to like play with his Switch 2. And then we did the episode where I had to just like ask you questions all about what's it like to
Oh,
have a Switch
yeah.
2 and stuff. Like so for me, it
I
was
was like,
great because yeah.
for you poor people that can't have one." Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times, good
Very
times.
good times.
It was
Yeah.
a fun
Really good
time.
times. Yeah. And I would
It's
say,
always something new, something exciting.
hmm
I would like them to drop something soon, like,
yeah.
so that I can get more excited, and I'm kinda over remakes right now, but, and yes, everybody wants an Ocarina of Time remake where I just want a new Zelda game, but,
Yeah.
fine, remake Ocarina of Time and make just be sure it's good, not just the same thing, just better
hmm
graphics. Like, make it
Yeah.
new-ish, fresh.
Yeah, one of the things this year has stood out for me is, if you and again, sorry, I'm breaking the thing I didn't want to do, but I'm going to do it. The
Oh,
first year
no.
of the Switch, like we had all those great games from the Wii U that pretty much nobody played because nobody bought a Wii U. They were just bringing all of those over at a regular cadence, which is great because those are amazing games. I did have a Wii U. I love my Wii U, but I played all those games, so I was a little bit like, well, I'm not going to double dip.
Yeah.
So it for me, it didn't have that kind of cadence of like new experiences. But in this year, we've gotten like similar things. And I just think the naming convention of all of these things has been so stupid. It's been probably one of the worst things. So you had like Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Jamboree TV, or Kirby in the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Star-Crossed Worlds. So, or like Super Mario
Mine's in
World. There you go.
Japanese,
Your
but
Jap that's
still.
that's cooler in Japanese. Or Super Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition plus Meet Up in Bella Bella Park. Like, what is Nintendo doing with that? That is just so stupid. I can't, what a
Yeah.
dumb thing to do.
Thank you, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar Nintendo Switch 2 edition, where that was
Yeah.
a little bit better named.
Yeah. That now seems sensible, when you go about it. Like, but having to say Switch 2 edition for all these things, like it's just I want to get out of that place now where we're just like, let's just keep it Switch 2 games. Let's get rid of, let's be done with the Switch. Um, and I also have to think, like with the third party games, that I think on reflection over this year, yes, there's been some really great like stuff, like some games like Cyberpunk 2077 that, worked for the most part. But I think what I'm realizing, and I don't know how you feel about this, but what I'm realizing is all that anticipation and excitement around, the Switch 2. I never thought it was going to be this like technical marvel and be able to play everything because that's just not how Nintendo operates. But
Yeah.
I think I'm now kind of recalibrated my understanding of what it can handle. Like, yes, the ports of Pragmata and um, Resident Evil 9, like Capcom's killing it with their ports, but you can still see that they're not kind of like the Xbox Series X versions or the PS5
I think they
versions.
did a great job of
Yeah.
Resident Evil. I didn't have
hmm
any glitches or any
hmm
kind of like waiting.
Yeah.
It was just good.
Yeah.
Uh, and I haven't played Pragmata,
Yeah.
but you like what you said. It's kind of like lags a little bit. Um, but yeah, so I'd say I do see the difference between like Resident Evil on the other systems or the computer or even or
hmm
whatever, and Switch 2, but that
Yeah.
doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me that much, but I think I if I was reflecting on before it came out and people talking about, the capabilities it has and all the tech involved in it, I was thinking like, "Ooh, we're actually gonna be a lot more closer to parity with these things." But now I've kind of gone, "Okay, no, we're still a little bit behind, and it's not gonna look as good, right? It's gonna look a little bit more, it's got that Vaseline effect on it a little bit where it's like a tiny bit more blurry, than, the other ones, but it works and it's all good." Um yeah, I think there was one more thing I was gonna bring up, but I just lost my and yeah, I can't remember. Uh,
So, what's the biggest
yeah,
win of year one for Switch 2?
the biggest win for year 1 for Switch 2. For me, I think I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be a little bit boring, but I'm gonna say the fact that it's managed to sell so well,
Hmm.
because like, you don't know. Like, you can't just ride off the success tales of the Switch. It's eventually, I think the Switch is gonna be the highest selling game system of all time. It's just behind the
Like Switch combined with Switch
PS2.
1, Switch 2?
No, no, no. So
Oh,
the just on
just
its
Switch 2.
own, the Switch, the original Switch system is, the second most selling console ever in
Yes.
history. It's just behind the PS2, and I think it's
Yes.
gonna overtake it, right?
So you're
But
saying the Switch 1 it will, not the Switch 2?
no, right? No. I don't think the Switch 2 will. No, no,
Okay.
no, I'm answering your question. No, sorry,
Okay.
that was answering your question. So, but the fact that it's come out the gate so well, selling incredibly well. I think it's tracking very close or, tracking higher than the initial Switch sales. I think for me, that's a really good sign because I didn't want, you never know how these things are gonna go, but there's still appetite for it. So for me, I think that's the biggest win, for the Switch 2 is that
Yeah.
it's selling well and people want it as a system.
Guess one of their biggest wins for me is that they didn't break the formula.
Mhm.
So it's still, I mean, it's backwards compatible, which is
Mhm.
amazing. So it makes like basically just kept the library feeling huge.
Yeah.
Uh, and then their third party confidence seems a lot stronger than the original Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, that's a great point because remember there was that time period where there was like they only gave development kits out to like certain key core partners or whatever.
Hmm.
So there was all these like developers saying like, "I want to release something for the Switch 2, but they haven't given me the tools to do it." So I think they've kind of caught all that up now. And you're right, there is just that confidence from third party developers that really help it be a solid platform. Uh, yeah, it's I was saying earlier that theme of like we're really funny as gamers, right? We are the most rabid hype cycle group of people that
Crazy.
will, we are coconuts, right? We would just love to talk about like rumors and build up excitement for anything coming down the line. And then the second comes out, we'll be like, no, you didn't deliver. You didn't, it didn't, as we said, in our predictions episode, it can't make me my spaghetti dinner that I want, like
It's
it's
true.
like
Well, one thing is like I just find it funny is everybody's begging for the remake of Ocarina of Time, but then they bring us a remake of Star Fox that nobody wanted or nobody asked for, and they're like
yeah,
complaining about it with a remake. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
wait, so you're getting a game that you did that's completely shadow dropped or whatever, not shadow drop, but the
yeah,
shadow drop direct for the game,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we're getting something that we didn't ask for,
Mhm.
and now you don't want it, but then you're wanting a remake of a Zelda game, so I'm just like, "Oh, we can't be
Yeah.
pleased."
No, we can't be pleased. And in terms of like the iterative nature, ooh, that was a hard word to say. The iterative nature of like
I
where
don't
we
know what
are
that
with
means.
console gaming, where we are with console gaming at the moment. Like, I just think this is the kind of place where we are with console gaming. It's similar to phones, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't get a new iPhone and go like, oh, what's all the new gimmicks or the things it can do for me? It's like I just kind of turn it on, it works, and that's fine. And some of the new stuff is interesting, but I don't really know. I don't really think about it. And with gaming, I think we're in that place, right? The PS6 is probably going to be very similar to the PS5. There's not going to be a huge leap in technology.
Yeah.
And I think we have to just recalibrate, what we think, what we're going to get from it.
Yeah, and on
Um,
that thought,
yeah.
uh, the Switch 2, or actually, sorry, the original Switch's first year was more exciting. The
Mhm.
Switch 2's first year might be more stable, which
Yeah.
is it's less sexy,
Yeah.
but I mean it's probably healthier and that's fine. I mean
Mhm.
they've created the Switch 2 has made the Switch ecosystem feel fresh again
Yes.
in a way. If
Yes.
that makes
Yes.
sense.
100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you're not worried if like, oh, if is this third party game gonna run on it, right? It is going to
Yeah.
run. It might not be the best, but like you don't have to like, worry about those things right now for the time being. Like, of course, that's gonna change as things happen. Um, and they're doing all of these little things like we talked about, like making sure that Switch One games run at the best capacity it can when you're in handheld mode. They're ironing all those things out. They have, they launched with loads of systems, so most people got it if they wanted it.
Hmm.
I think just it, it's a safe roadmap, but I think we need that one. I want that one big game to come up that I go yes, like it feels really exciting to have a Switch 2 at the
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, or maybe I just need to get over that and know that it's never going to happen.
Never
It will.
gonna get it, never gonna
Yeah.
get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna
I
get
think
it.
the main thing that's gonna make the first year, it would have been the even better year for you, Mike, is if Witchbrook would have finally come out.
Freaking Witchbrook. I'm like I subscribe to that website
Yeah.
and I always check it. And they're just like, "Do you really want it to be
Uh-huh.
perfect for you?" I was like, "No, give me a faulty product and then work on it later." Like, I just want to play it already. I feel like Witchbrook is going to change my life,
It's gonna
even though it's going to be
yes.
on Steam and all that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mhm.
I
Well,
hate
that's
them.
that is a point,
Is it
like,
Chucklefish?
I think so. I think it is Chucklefish. I don't know off the
Hate
top of my
them.
head. We don't hate you, Chucklefish.
I
I don't.
hate you,
Mike
Chucklefish.
might do that. Also, give him a review code. He'll definitely do it really well. So then he'll love you again. Um, the other bit, just as we start to round out the conversation, the Switch 2 is also entered into a landscape where there's lots of other handheld systems, right? That when the
Hmm.
Switch came out, it was the first one to do it. Where you could, it was a home and a console. It was a console and a
Yeah.
portable at the
Well,
same
because
time.
Nintendo was handheld after N64 or after GameCube, and then it was just handheld, 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 like
Well, no,
DS.
no,
Oh
no.
yeah,
You had
they
the
had the
Wii and then
Wii.
Wii. That was huge, and then
I
the Wii
forgot
U.
about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what I mean is that what was revolutionary, I thought, was the handhelds. Were going. They're doing both, like the Wii, the GameCube,
Hmm.
um, the Wii U, which nobody cared about, but then the Wii U had a handheld
Hmm.
with it, and
Yeah,
then like we got the 3D, we got the DS, the 2DS, 3DS,
yeah.
the LMNOP, and it was the DSi and XL, and it was just really those were really fun, and people loved that. And
Hmm.
then so, what I think they're going to come out with next, and this is me going ahead of the game. I don't know. Maybe they'll like shadow drop. I don't know, or just surprise us. A Switch Flip, like it'll be kind of like a DS,
Hmm.
and but like a Switch, and so it can be smaller, but because it flips open, they can fit everything that the Switch 2 can fit
Yeah.
into it. Oh my god, I'm already they should do this.
Well, that
And
was
then it could be backwards compatible for like DS games. I don't know.
yeah. Well, that was if on our prediction episode. That was one of the predictions. I said that they're going to release a peripheral because
Yeah,
you've got the thingy on
just an
top.
attachment.
Yeah, that you can just then, switch flip it. I love that.
Switch
That would
Flip.
be so cool. That would be amazing. I think I don't think they would release it as its own system because then
Fine.
you split the no. I mean no, I like the idea. I'm with you on the idea, Mike. I think they'll release it as an attachment because if you release it as a system, then you like split your audience. Like you don't want some people to go like, oh well, I can't play that now because I didn't buy that version. It's like no, you need to make it, or they could make it and then have a peripheral as well. But
Or
like
somehow allow you
yeah,
to play it on your TV, but use your handheld as the
yeah,
touch screen.
yeah. They
That'd be
could
sweet.
definitely do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can
Um,
dream.
so Mike, if you had to, yeah, we have to, this is the fun part. I love coming up with random stuff like that. If you had to give it a score for the Switch
B
2's,
plus.
okay, you're at B plus. Great.
uh, my 1 year grade is probably a B plus. Not
Okay.
because it failed, but because it succeeded in a very safe way.
Okay. So it's a safe pair of hands, but not exciting, not,
Yeah, it didn't
no,
blow my mind like the
yeah,
original Switch, but it did make me confident that this generation is going to be strong.
great. Yeah, I would say that for me, it's more of a, it's, oh, because I'm kind of doing this in the moment because I, I think it is. I think it's a solid B. I wouldn't go B plus, but it's a solid
Uh-oh.
B because here's why. The console itself wasn't like anything as we've talked about, right? It is more of what we know. It's just bigger and the better polished version of it. Um, but the games that have been releasing for it are not games. I mean, yes, we were excited about Metroid Prime 4. I was super hyped for that, very disappointed by it. Mario Kart World, just a little bit more of the same, but just more open world, which was not that exciting. But the games that I didn't know I was gonna want or play or like, so the things of like Pocopia, like
Yeah,
that's really, been a really awesome gaming experience for me. Pragmata, being able to play that. I know it's not an exclusive to the Switch 2, but being able to play that day and date with the others, that for me, it's I'm going, okay, so this system is there, not necessarily, I don't think of it just as a Nintendo system anymore. I'm thinking of it as my console that I can play other, third party games on, and I want to. Whereas
yeah.
the first one I didn't, and it was just my Nintendo system. So, um, yeah, but
Third party has a
yeah.
time. I mean, has a chance to shine on the Switch too,
I think so. I think so.
more
But
than
right
it
now it's
ever
a B,
has.
and that's a solid B, and that's good.
Yeah, I gave it a B minus now. Then I
Yeah.
just want to be lower than you. B plus because I don't know why. I just wanted to say plus.
Y- Great. Yeah. Yeah. It's a B. I don't know. Well, what do you think, listeners? What do you think to this conversation or
Yeah.
reflection
Did
to
it sync or did it out of sync?
did it sink or did it out of sync? Did it sink or swim, in your opinion? Let us know in the comments below or write in to gamers at outofsyncgaming.co.uk. Again, that's gamers at outofsyncgaming.co.uk and let us know what your thoughts have been on the first year of having the Switch 2. Or if you haven't gotten one and why, and are you planning to get one before the price hikes? Let us know. You also can find us on various places on socials. Where can people find us, Mike?
Check out Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Discord, here on YouTube, of course, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, definitely. And be so kind, leave us a review on those places. That really helps out quite a lot. And definitely don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell because we want you to stay updated with all of the content that we have coming your way. We are getting into lots of announcements coming up across the gaming sphere. It's that exciting time of the year, Mike, in the summer when we're going to have the Sony State of Play coming up. We're recording this on June 1st. It's coming up tomorrow. So we'll reflect on that. I suspect there's going to be a Nintendo Direct coming out at some point this month. More announcements from Xbox coming down the way. It's just that exciting time for gaming with all the stuff that's going to be announced at Summer Game Fest. So make sure you, like and subscribe because we're going to be sharing all our thoughts on all that stuff as it gets announced.
And all that jazz.
Exactly. Well, I guess that's about everything for now. So until next time,
Play what you want to.
bye.
Bye.